Hey guys and gals, so the last one of this event is DMEX6. That's this map here. Now there'll be two flag bearers. I call them flag bearers. Their real name are Sentinel Leaders. I call them flag bearers because they wave a little flag around when you activate them. And world curses are our other primary enemies. So there'll be 4 world curses here, here, and here. So in this little L shape here. And the flag bearers will just path up and down from here. Now in challenge mode, you have a lot less time to do all this in because they have increased movement speed. So their pathing will shorten probably by about a whole single path time. And then one will go left and one will go right. The one that goes out to the left will go first. So we need to have everything dead on this side long before it is done. And we also need to try and have all this side cleared up before it's done as well. So for that, I will be bringing Skadi with skill 2, so I can have her and deploy her. You can also use Helga. Helga will do the job as well. Outside of that, I've got Myrtle and Scavenger as vanguards, 2 tanks, Cora and Gummy. So you're going to need 1 healing tank and another just whatever you prefer. 2 healers, so 1 good healer and a reserve. 2 casters, 1 AoE and 1 single target. So I've got Armia with skill 2 and Skyfire with skill 2. Skyfire for the stun. I have Province. You can replace her with any other short range high damage sniper. She's just the one I've grabbed. Basically because her skill 1 is set and forget, whereas Acid Drop has like obnoxiously long skill times. Executor skill 1 because his skill 2 has an obnoxiously long cooldown. And Ethan with skill 2. You can replace Ethan's skill 2 with Manticore skill 2 if you have her. So we're going to start off with deploying Myrtle first and foremost, and we want her on the map as long as humanly possible. Right, so just be mindful you start with no deployment points, which also hurts a lot. So vanguards like Zimmer, for example, are really good on this map. Scavenger here, use those deployment points, and we want to get Armia in first. Facing down, because if we face her inwards, you see that her attack zone reaches this middle lane, and we don't want to activate these guys. Our next end is going to be Skyfire, because we need her helping over here. So Skyfire is facing in towards the center, because she won't reach. Whoop. So now, while it's nice and quiet, I'm going to deploy Skadi over here, and I'm going to make sure that I don't face her towards any of these other enemies, because I don't want Skadi hitting any of them. Next, I'm going to deploy Ethan. Skyfire's skill to deal with the shields. Oh, Skadi's done. Now, from this point on, I really want to deploy in a specific order because these casters will actually hurt me if I do not. So, first, Suzuran facing down. Province facing inwards. Executor facing inwards. And lastly but not least, we're going to have Cora, who I am just waiting for the deployment points on, and then I can deploy her. So Cora, and keep her back to the vent so she gets an attack boost. Once Skadi's good to go again, we will deploy her. So we want to save our deployment points basically. I want to make sure I can deploy Skadi before I deploy Gummy, or I can deploy both. So I absolutely want Skadi deployed as soon as she's ready. That's the time frame we're on. So here's Skadi. Deploy her facing down. And I'm going to use this Myrtle skill. I'm going to use Skyfire's skill. Note the Wraith leaders. That first one comes independently and then they start coming in groups. So once Myrtle's done with that cycle, we can deploy Gummy. We're going to move her up one tile from where we had her originally. Skadi back out. And we're going to use Ethan to block, or to work on these Wraith leaders, the first lot. Now, while Skadi's on cooldown, I'm going to get this one into combat. And I'm going to deploy my reserve healer. We have one Demolisher over here, so we're going to want Skyfire's skill as soon as it's ready, because you can see that does a lot of damage. Ethan's skill again. So as soon as this enemy dies, that's him, we're going to pull him out, and I'm going to deploy Skadi in again. Skadi's got that last enemy. This is the last Demolisher on this side, so the second one. So once they've moved down into the center, that is the last Demolisher. Bonk. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm planning on yanking out Gummy as soon as that enemy's done. So there he goes, Skyfire and Armia, because I want to delay as long as possible because we still have enemies on the field. So that's it. I'll just use Cora's skill, I don't have to. And I'll deploy Scavenger over here. These enemies don't attack, so I don't need to worry. If you really want, you can deploy somebody else. And that's it. So that one's nice and simple. You've just got to stay on top of the casters. That's all there is to it. Other than that, I hope that helps, guys. If it does, like, subscribe, leave a comment if you got any questions.